Hey, my name is Ryan Burns from the Reliability Center, and today we're going to dive into a question that I think is critical for every reliability engineer, and that is all root cause analysis the same? Now, if you were to ask different teams how they conduct their root cause analysis, you're probably going to get just as many answers as the people that you ask. And that's because there's not really like a universally accepted definition of how to do root cause analysis. Now, some regulatory agencies might have one take and corporations another, and heck, you might even have like multiple plants within the same company that have different approaches to doing RCAs. So what I want to do today is kind of break down the four kind of common approaches to root cause analysis that we often see and kind of look at those. And so the first one is just troubleshooting. So this is really just kind of the quick fix where your superhero goes out onto the floor and just gets everything back online as fast as they can. They're the person that, you know, you're able to point the direction of the problem, they go and they're just going to fix it. And this engineer or this team member, they're often going to come back with what they saw was the problem and tell you how they fixed it. Now, the issue with this is that they rarely dig into the hard evidence or kind of the systemic issues. And the reality is that the problem is almost always going to return. So after that, we see brainstorming. So this approach to root cause analysis, it's certainly better than troubleshooting. And this is where if something happens, we have an event, we gather a whole bunch of smart people together in a room, and these smart people are all given kind of a summary of what we know happened, you know, the bad outcome that we've received. And you know, this kind of goes off the rails to begin with, because oftentimes the description that this team receives is kind of, it takes that description and just accepts it as fact. And the group usually accepts that information and then begins to work together and just begins to move towards solutions. So, you know, a bunch of folks, they start throwing out kind of disconnected ideas as to what they think happened, and then just moving on to an action plan. And usually this approach, it's really focused on speed in order to kind of demonstrate activity, and ultimately as a result, it's usually really weak on evidence, and you know, it doesn't really analyze deep down into what is the root cause of the problem that we faced. And so chances are this team is going to be meeting again because the failure will almost certainly recur. Now, kind of better than brainstorming, we might actually see an approach to root cause analysis where there's some problem. We call it like the problem-solving approach. And in this, you know, it's very, very similar to brainstorming, but now what we've added in is kind of either a structured or analytical tool, something like 5 whys or the fishbone diagram. And now this tool certainly provides a degree of discipline to the group, and it gives you a series of steps and a structure to follow. And it's certainly better than troubleshooting and brainstorming. But so I'd say that this approach, when applied properly, can certainly be effective for root cause analysis. However, the approach isn't always applied properly. People are usually very time constrained, the need to hurry up to get results, to get things done, and therefore often in these we see that the collection of evidence is kind of, that's where we save some time. And so ultimately, without true evidence to whatever our hypothesis is, we start to treat things as fact that maybe aren't fact, and then inevitably we develop and implement recommendations accordingly. So what we would say when it comes to root cause analysis is to really, the best approach is to actually go to the root cause. And you know, This seeks to do justice to the importance of finding the root cause and taking effective corrective action. So it's a disciplined, evidence-backed method. We've got to have a clear problem statement. We need to use a logic tree based upon cause and effect, and really deeply digging and drilling into the systems that created the root problem, right? The systemic roots. And then begin to provide corrective actions that we can then track to make sure that this event doesn't happen again. So at its core, effective root cause analysis really demands several things. Well, it demands a precisely worded factual problem statement. It demands that we collect hard evidence to validate every hypothesis, whether true or false, and it really requires that we use this cause and effect tool rather than like a broad unchecked categories. And then as we drill down, we want to get past the decision maker, or kind of the human element of error, and we really want to focus in on the systems or the systemic issues that resulted in poor decision making that led to whatever the event is that occurred. And then finally, we want to develop and implement corrective solutions that we can then track. Now, as you can see, like, not all root cause analysis is the same, but to do truly great root cause analysis, there always seems to be this persistent challenge, and that is time and the pressure of time. You know, rushing through data collection, we begin to trade facts for assumptions, and it almost guarantees a repeat of the same failures. In fact, I'm reminded here of a quote from Bob Latino. He said, we never seem to have the time to budget to do things right, but we always seem to have the time to budget to do things again. All right? Doing a truly useful RCA takes time, and that's where tools like what we've created with EasyRCA can really help. If you're looking to standardize your RCA process, I really want to encourage you to check out EasyRCA. It guides your team through every step of a rigorous evidence-based analysis, all the way through tracking your corrective actions, so that you can actually demonstrate and see real sustainable improvements across your whole spectrum. And I'll say this too, if you want to build some more in-house expertise, the Reliability Center team, we offer comprehensive RCA training. We can tailor it to your industry, tailor it specifically to you, your people. We've got workshops, online courses, and ultimately we want to work to help ensure that your engineers and your team have the skill and confidence to lead truly effective root cause analysis. So, hey, if you found this video valuable, please give us a like, a subscribe, click the little bell so that you never miss out on our posts. But hey, for more information about EasyRCA, our RCA training programs, we'd love for you to visit reliability.com. And we look forward to helping you achieve world-class reliability. So, see you next time.